Hey Tommy, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Once in a lifetime, hopefully, situation here.
God Almighty, I mean, this is our first straight from the hip from I think March 6th. I looked up the other day before all this insanity started.
Just before, yeah, and it's been insanity, anxiety, fear. Your family was affected. Mine was affected quite a bit, and my extended family was affected. I know people. My kids, buddies from school, lost a dad, and it's not fun, and it's really scary, and you got to put your trust in government. Although I guess people think that's like being a sheep or a cattle or something. But got to hope that these experts know what they're doing. I think they do with the shutdowns and the New York pause and such. And just hope people don't. Uh, I'll leave it at that for a sec.
Well, I think first of all, if I could ask you next time you talk, just speak up a little bit higher. Um,
Right.
as far as us, as far as what's going on here, look, nobody wants to sit in their house. Nobody wants to go through this. Nobody wants to watch television every night and hear the same thing. But um, I, I, I'm kind of bitter against the people that believe this is that the government's trouncing on the Constitution and their right to freedom. And I think you and I talked about it. But the reality is that if you were making a decision just for yourself, and you said, "Look, I'll take my chances on dying and getting sick and dying," okay, great. But you're taking your chances about contracting it somewhere and then bringing it back when you don't even know you have it, and that's just putting people at risk. Then that's none of your business. That is our business.
Well, most of the guys that kill the people that kill me, they're rallying in all across the country,
Right.
protesting this shutdown, opening us up, Bill of Rights, all this bullshit. I'm sure there's been Old Glory burned. Why don't you burn a Chinese flag?
Yeah.
They're the ones that gave us this damn thing. And
Exactly.
they don't have to bomb us; they just have to infect us. Um, we're so dependent on China, and yeah, everything's made there. And why? Well, I'll tell you. You got this David Bellavia on BEN. I'll name a name. Medal of Honor winner. God bless him. Thank you for your service. But you talk out of your ass, and blaming Cuomo for everything. And if you wanna work to be safe, get a state job. Well, let me tell you something about essential workers and stuff. Many of them are terrified to go to work. We got COs in the prisons that got this. One died the other day. Bellavia, why don't you do your homework?
Yeah.
And I've never voted for Andrew Cuomo, never will. But I find his talks comforting. And I think he's done the right job, and I agree with him to let's be careful with this. And now I see Barr, the Attorney General, wants to sue states that don't open. Nobody talks about suing the Chinks, except for the Show Me State, Missouri. They're going to sue China. I'm amazed. And Jeff, this guy out there, he owns some kind of a shop. I don't know if it's motorcycles or whatever. He's complaining he's losing his business. Number one, who the hell's buying a damn motorcycle this time of the year anyway? But he bitched that Target's open. Well, people are going to, because they sell essential food and cleaning supplies and stuff. And maybe so, you do see the occasional whatever coming out with a TV set. But then again, if you're home and
Yeah, but Tom, I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's usually under their arm and they're running out of Sam's Club.
and that's happened not at Sam's, but the Walmart on Walden. But disappointing. I heard these baseball executives talking, reporters talking today. Oh, why are we going to open? Well, 8 teams have voted no. And my question is, and all these business owners that are dying and stuff, and business wise, and most of these people, Wayne, have never been affected by anybody. You hear the guy said, the businessman the other day said, I don't know of anyone that's gotten this. I breathe in the air. I don't wear a mask, and I don't know. They're telling me numbers, but I don't believe it. Well, then you're a dumbass.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to tell you how to run your bike shop. Don't tell these people how to do this. I've seen people affected who's in this house.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Tommy. I just I've never lived through obviously the pandemic, but I also haven't lived through this much at this point now, 5 6 weeks into it, anti-Americanism. Just running rampant about how we're sheep following them to socialism, and they're putting us in their grips of a new way of America, and that's all horseshit. Not you think Cuomo and these guys are gonna change? We're changing laws and stuff after this. No, we're not.
And the other thing too, a lot of this when Trump became president was talking about bringing manufacturing back, and there's a slow move to do that. And why? Because a lot of these guys, like Crazy Carl, who was so proponent of this protest, make me money, me pay little. So I wonder if this guy with the bike shop, when he needed a part, I wonder if he goes to Dakota, Carolina, Illinois, or I guess he probably goes over to like Laos or Cambodia and gets it made by a kid for a nickel.
Yep, that's where they're going.
It's coming back to bite our ass.
And they have to, that's the key, Tom. We talked about it. We have to make changes. We have to be ready for the next time this could possibly happen as far as medically. We also have to be ready to not put our future, the future of this country, our children and grandchildren, in the hands of a country that hates us. I mean, they make our medicines. They make everything. And that's got to come back. And yes, we're going to have to pay a few extra bucks.
And I think some people are going to have to make just a little bit less.
Yeah.
Okay? Some of these CEOs, AEOs, TTOs, we got to get back to a more. Now, we have that idiot in New York City that got elected in a district with like 6 voters. But she wants a living wage put in one of these stimuluses. Well, no, maybe the living wage could actually be guys working and women working in a factory that's making like toilet paper or Lysol or some of these pharmaceuticals and really deserve a minimum
Living wage.
living wage instead of going to Burger King, and you might as well just go to Salvatore's.
Hey.
Those people there should be making $30 an hour.
Yeah, AOC too. She came out again and said, "I won't vote for this unless there's, money for undocumented immigrants in my district." Well, then you're not voting for it, bitch. Because no, we're not giving it away. Nope.
States are broke, hospitals are broke, people are dying. I don't care about Fidel and Manuel. All right, it shouldn't be here.
Nope.
They're undocumented. California did it. What a great state.
What a great state. We used to say saw off New York and push it till it hits Portugal. Well, I'll saw off that shithole until it hits Japan.
Unfortunately, the jet stream will keep it right attached in there.
That's true, but yeah, I just don't understand, Tom. I think if you and I went down to Guatemala or even Mexico, because we were almost detained because we got a parking ticket, I don't think we'd see the light of day, and I don't think anybody would be cutting 6,000 peso checks to us.
I don't see if we were still there, someone saying, "Hey, essay, the Americans don't have no money. We got to give them stimulus, essay." Yeah. You know where we'd be. And sorry, and this is going to have to change too with now why border security is so important. But what really is irking me right now is the fighting and the blaming, like Bella Villa, and he's throwing out false stats and just rebel rousing. And we don't need that now. I don't think Andrew Cuomo's done a bad job at all. In fact, like I said earlier, I find it comforting.
No, Tom. Let me tell you something. He's not just a good public speaker. And again, I'm going to reiterate what you did. Okay, he's an ultra liberal. I can't stand his policies. But I will tell you that when you sit and listen to him, he's intelligent, he's articulate, and he makes a hell of a lot of sense. And
he gives you the facts. And I think Trump's done a decent job, right? But I'm sorry, when he speaks, I don't get comforted.
No.
Okay? And it's I did this and I did that. It's the biggest, greatest ever. And I'm sorry, putting your name on a stimulus check.
No, it's unheard of.
To the left, it didn't slow anything up.
No, it did not.
Okay? And people aren't waiting. It's just his name, but it's so stupid. And he brags too much, and I've had it up to my ears with it.
Well, he's a misogynist, Tom. He's the definition. You look in the dictionary for misogynist. There's a picture of that son of a gun, because I've never heard anything like it. We were talking on the phone the other day. A true leader, the true definition of a leader, and I know I tried to do it in my job and you did it in yours, is when things go well, you give credit to your team. When things go poorly, you take responsibility. And this guy is the complete opposite, and he is the biggest leader in the free world.
Right. And it's not comforting, but I will say this: he's pushing to open. He wants to get the economy going. I get it, but if we're not careful, Joe Biden will walk into Washington as president, and that's really, really scary.
First of all, for anybody like me and a couple of my colleagues who recently retired and really have no income per se outside of assets, that scares the life out of me. Forget COVID, I'll go broke.
They'll get this eventually. This is a disease that seemed to be hitting people our age and a little bit older. It does no age, as we've found out, but who's going to pay for this in the long run? You watch the Social Security.
Oh, yeah.
Cut back on that to pay for this. But yet, we write billions of dollars of checks to countries I've never heard of. In fact, just before this all hit, there was a story out that some country, I don't even know the name, Zimbabwe, but they're executing homosexuals because they don't believe in it. Yet we're giving them billions. And so, I'm sorry, the Christmas checks are over. First off, they shouldn't be paying a country like that anything if that's going on.
Right.
It's time now to take care of us. The MAG has to come first now, and not Hector and Fidel and Mahala that are coming over the fence, which apparently does he have to show us the wall being created during this epidemic?
Yeah, I know.
And talk about comfort. But anyways, yeah, it's definitely.
Well, we shut off the $450 million to the World Health Organization. You can argue that they did a good job or they didn't. Here's my argument, because I don't know what they did. My argument is China paid 1/10 of that as their share. They have 4 times as many people, and every God-blessed virus that comes out of the world is Southeast Asia or Africa. But we're paying $450 million.
We talked earlier, our last episode, about how this possibly started. Over time, I'm starting to think now that undercooked squirrel nut might not have been the first time somebody ate that. And it might have been an accidental release from a lab or whatever.
Yeah.
But China's moving their aircraft carriers around, and from what I hear in the different news agencies, their people aren't real happy. They're claiming it was 3,000 deaths or whatever. Yet this guy over here, you got the conspiracy papers and stuff. He claims there's like millions of less cell signals bouncing around over there. So either they're social distancing with their phones, or them people just ain't there no more.
Exactly. I don't think they're hanging around out in Wongsung Mung.
And to back what you just said too, I think China knows that's why they're moving their aircraft carriers around. People aren't happy when this gets all said and done.
Yeah.
China's going to have to decorate the mahogany.
Yeah.
And one other thing, irked me the other night, Channel 2, one of my least favorite stations, ran a story that the ACLU and some lawyers and some legislators and state officials are concerned about the living conditions in our New York State prisons. Who gives a shit? All right? Let me tell Scott Levin and these guys something. If you want a real story, go do some investigating. They were last to close because they threatened to riot.
Yeah.
So they had to stay open. And why? Because that's their drug flow into the house.
Yeah.
Right? They spend their days in some prisons trying to infect the guards, and many have been.
No, that's disgusting. That's disgusting.
And the answer down the road, though, won't be, oh my God, if that happens, I don't want to be stuck in prison. It'll be, but they don't need to be incarcerated all that long for all this stuff. Now they want to start releasing people. But you know what, Scott? Let them live next to you, and that just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah.
That the essential workers that are working, a lot of them are terrified. My son goes out the door every day. I'm not terrified, but
Well, you're concerned, of course. My son too. My son's working at a bank, and it's only drive-through, but there's 10 people working with him in the bank. Uh, it's yeah, it's very disconcerting, and it's very, very difficult. The other thing I'll say, and it's obviously this is just outside of everybody's control, but living here in Buffalo is just really rough because this weather we're getting is basically mid-February weather. 30 today, right now, the wind chill's 26 degrees on April 22nd. I mean, you can't go in your backyard, listen to some tunes, and get some sun, and it's tough when you're isolated.
Mother Nature has not been kind the last 8, 9 days, and it's so true. We had those days a couple weeks. That Monday was 60. I could deal with that. You know, we had the radio going. We sat in the hot tub. This with the wind. Now the sun always makes things a little better. But
Yeah.
having said that, these hurricane-like winds and wind chills and stuff, it does make the anxiety level climb. I hope Mother Nature can start turning this around a little bit, especially now. I mean, this isn't the first time we've had a wet, crappy April, but right now we need a
I
nice
mean,
warm.
that's the key. It's when you pile it on top of staying in your house. And by the way, I did get tested today. I felt very ill in February, and as you know, Tom, but some people don't. And I don't get the flu. I had a flu shot, and I was sicker than I've ever been with the sweats and everything. And anyway, long story short, talked to my doctor today, and I got tested at Quest today to see if I have the antibodies, to see if I had it. And it was interesting. The nurse said to me, the woman who's drawn, not the nurse, the woman that drew the blood, she said, "Why are you doing this?" And I said, "Well, number one," I said, "I'd like to have a little less anxiety. I understand that if I have the antibody, I don't know how long I would be immune or immune at all. So I'm not going to go around, running in front of people and standing next to them." But I said, secondly, if I do have it, I'd be happy to give some plasma, maybe try to help somebody. And she goes, "Well, okay, I can see that, because otherwise," she goes, "why are we doing this? Who cares if we had it?" And I said, "This is a very important thing for reopening sections of the country."
Who cares if we had it?
Yeah, she said,
It's
who,
not we when I'm at home at night staring at a Jack Daniels bottle. It came into our house. I'm convinced with my little boy Aaron when he came home from St. Mary's, he had a horrible cough, real bad cough. We kept him home a few days, and I got it. And I actually call it sundown syndrome. I feel pretty good during the day, but then at night, and the cough. And I think I told you I had codeine cough syrup I got from Canada, and it's a big bottle. I looked the other day; it's like just a little bit left. So I'm not addicted to that stuff. I must have been. Sometimes you kind of forget how bad you were, and I know I would wake up in coughing fits where I would lose my breath.
yeah,
So, but my wife tested positive. She actually had it,